Drive Away Dolls, directed by Ethan Coen, just hit movie theaters on Friday, February 23rd. And I've been excited for this movie since the trailer dropped a while ago now. I remember this movie was supposed to be released sometime in 2023 and then got delayed to this year. That had me a little nervous, but I don't know. It still looked like a really fun time. I have a real affinity for the sillier side of the Coen brothers. Let me just see if I can find this Blu-ray really quick. Yep. I recently watched Raising Arizona for the first time, and it was a blast. Absolutely love this movie. And stuff like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You get it. And yes, it made me a little nervous because Ethan Coen has never directed a movie by himself. Joel has done that a couple of times while collaborating with Ethan as a writer, but also he did that with the tragedy Macbeth, and that was okay. So this movie, I was very, very excited based on the trailer alone, but I was also a little apprehensive because, critic brain kind of gets you apprehensive for every movie that you watch. But how did Drive Away Dolls fare? How did it end up panning out? I have to say that it yielded really positive results. I think that Drive Away Dolls was one of the most charming new releases that I've seen in 2024. The offbeat comedy of the trailer really translated so well into this movie. There were so many one-liners and so many odd interactions that I was just a huge fan of. I think that it really capitalized on the idea here, and it really did not. There's a problem with a lot of movies nowadays where they don't execute on their premise and they kind of go in a different route. That happened with Self-Reliance earlier this year, which I've yet to talk about. It happened with Madam Web really badly. So just stuff like that. I've just been, I feel like, consistently disappointed. Out of Darkness is another one that I don't know if I've talked about yet on this channel. But still, wow, there's just so many movies coming out recently that I've just, oh, really? That's what this movie is? But thankfully, Drive Away Dolls did not fall victim to that. While I've seen her in a lot of movies recently, Geraldine Viswanathan has never really given me a performance to ever really touch on. She's just been really there in every movie she's in. But here, I think she really gets to shine really bright. I think her comedy works really well. I really buy into her character and what she's doing here. I think that seeing her on this kind of explorative journey was really a welcomed sight. I think this is easily her best performance of her career so far. I adore how every side character is stealing the show every single time they're in a sequence. That is a very Coen Brothers thing to have happen in a movie, and I think that Ethan really nails that specific cliche that they normally put in their films. Coleman Domingo is, always a welcomed presence, and he was great here. I thought that Beanie Feldstein? I think that's how you say her name. She is hilarious in every scene she is. She continues her hot streak. And the two henchmen that work for Coleman Domingo are hilarious, both of them. And I think they have the most natural back and forth out of any of the characters here. And I think that they stole the scene whenever they were in it. With, and the sequence that was in the trailer between them and Beanie Feldstein was hilarious. That really was one of my favorite moments in the entire movie. Its quick pace was also a really welcomed treat. I felt like this movie was never really taking time off. This movie was never forcing you to kind of sit with the characters and reflect on what's going on. It was always moving at a breakneck speed, and I felt like that is exactly what this movie needed to be, because it kind of filled. There was no filler, I guess you could say. The editing also in this movie was surprisingly really great. It was very, Coen Brothers-y, but it was very distinct, and it had these weird moments of what is that called? Ultra colorness. I forget what it's called. Iridescent. That's the word. Sequences that were really cool. I think that, again, it got scenes moving pretty quickly, which was a really welcome surprise, and it really made up for the lacking overall cinematography. I'll talk about that in a little bit. There was a lot of sex positive overtones in this movie, and that really is what makes it stand out amongst I guess heist movies or road trip movies. It is unabashedly a lesbian movie, and it's never it's never like hemming and hawing about it. It's never like, oh, maybe this is a little bit about lesbians and we're just gonna, tiptoe around that. No, it's in your face the entire time in such a refreshing and rewarding way. It feels so positive and so unique to the queer experience. It really was a welcome surprise. Maybe not a surprise just because of it was very much in the trailer, but it consistently made the movie that much more of a, oh yeah, like this is great. It just very positive vibes coming from the entire film. And I would say that the best part about this movie is how fun it is and how it is a well done fun movie. You hear a lot about oh, the movie's just fun, don't take it too seriously. Why are you looking in so hard to like a Marvel movie or whatever bullshit people try to say when you don't like super mainstream stuff. This is the movie that I point them to and say, no, this is how you do fun movies. This is how you make a movie that isn't taking itself so seriously. This is how you do it. Unfortunately, though, Drive Away Dolls wasn't absolutely perfect. I did find some issue with it. I thought that Margot, is it Margaret? Margaret, sorry. Margaret Qualley was kind of obnoxious the entire time, and her accent was completely unconvincing and almost distracting. I felt like if that just wasn't part of her character and she was witty in a different way, I would have enjoyed her performance a lot more, but it just felt like she was trying a bit too hard to sell this Texas wild card character, and I think that she just it didn't work for me. And I thought that Geraldine, I really forget how to pronounce her last name, even though I just did, and I don't want to butcher it, but I felt like she was outshining her in every scene they were in a very noticeable way. I wanted more out of the script in terms of escapades, and I felt like the situations the characters were getting themselves into weren't always the most creative thing that the screenwriters could come up with. I just wanted more wackiness. I wanted more shit to go wrong. I wanted just more conflict and more buildup to the eventual climax of the film, because it kind of just falls onto the characters and it's just like tied up in a nice ribbon, and I felt like there was not enough of a journey to get there. I do like I thought that the movie was firing on all cylinders up until that third act, and then it kind of just slowed and became very plain. And I wish there was just more. There was more character to the script in some ways. And I think by extending the runtime a little bit, but still moving at that quick pace, could have made this movie that much more enjoyable. I wanted more out of it. I was left a little disappointed by the end, because I was like, oh, okay, that's it. Like they could have done more with the material here. But aside from that, I had a blast with Drive Away Dolls. It was easily the most fun I've had in the movie theater in a really long time. I've been recently watching really dark and heavy stuff recently. Like I just watched All of Us Strangers and Mysterious Skin and Zone of Interest, like back to back to back. And I was like, I need something to kind of come back to reality. I need something to have fun with. And this movie was the perfect anecdote for that. So I'm going to give Drive Away Dolls a really strong B+. This is definitely a movie worth seeing in the movie theaters. Please go check it out. Go see it with your friends. And yeah, so the next two videos that are going to be coming out are going to be my best of the year lists. And then Dune 2 is coming out on Friday. So that obviously that is a big event movie. So I hope you guys are excited for that. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.